Um, Ice blocks. They're like wooden blocks, but with much less friction. So you can create cannons out of ice, or bullets out of ice blocks. And then, so they're just slippery. And what I was gonna say, when I said cannons, you can use ice immobile blocks. They are just like, they're immobile, but they are slippery. So this is what you would use to create cannons and tracks that you don't want to be grippy. And they're still immobile, so you can't move them. And I'll show you how slippery they are. Okay. Let me see. Okay, here's a ice block and a wooden block and bombs, and we'll see how far the explosions push them. Okay, wooden block didn't even move. Okay, well that one didn't really move much either. Let me make these smaller. So yeah, they're slippery. So I use that a lot. I use ice immobile blocks a lot. Cloud blocks, they will float. If they start on the ground, they'll float up probably about 5 or 10 units, and then they'll eventually just stop. And they'll hover in place. Still going. Okay, there it stopped. It's probably about 15 units. And it's coming back down and it goes back up. So they have a force pushing them up. So underwater, or in zero gravity, they will float and they'll just go straight up and they will never stop. So like in zero gravity levels, I create upside down dominoes using that, because they float up and then like the dominoes are just like normal dominoes but upside down. Hold blocks. Okay, these are really complicated. What hold blocks do is they are immobile when you start, and those are immobile. I mean, those are hold blocks. They just look like wooden blocks, but they are hold blocks. So they start out immobile, just floating there, but they're like immobile and multi-hit vanish mixed, because you can shoot them and then they vanish. It takes 2 shots or 3 explosions. And what happens is, after you destroy half of them, the others become normal. They just turn basically into normal multi-hit vanish blocks. They lose their immobile properties. And you can use that to do lots of different stuff. Like, I'll explain it more in the advanced building section of this tutorial, about part 7 I think, or part 6. Okay, also there's colored hole blocks, and what they do is they're just like a hole blocks, but if you wanted to have these, then you had another one, and these are red. Instead of you having to shoot all of those 4 blue ones for the rest of them to fall down, because you have to shoot half, the blues and the reds are separate. So after I shoot 2 blues, the other blues fall down, and the reds are not affected. They're completely independent. They're separate of the other colors. So I'll explain how you can use that later. Okay, next we have color blocks. There's a lot of different colors, and then black and gray and white. They have the same properties of a normal wooden block. See, they're just the same. So you can use those just for colorful stuff. And jingle blocks, they also have the same properties as a wooden block. They just make music whenever there's a nearby explosion or something hits them, or something like right here, they should make a sound when they hit the ground. Yeah, you can hear it a little bit. And the different colors make different sounds. There's no real pattern relating the colors and sounds, so they're just kind of random sounds. They're not in order from pitch or anything, so you can experiment with different sounds. Point blocks, they are same properties of wooden blocks, nothing special. They're used for games with scoring systems, just like gem blocks. So when they hit the ground, they make points. Let me turn the rules on. Play. But with the rules off, they're nothing except number blocks. So like I create a keypad out of number blocks here. You can see it if you click here. The selection is numbers 1 through 10 and 20 and 50. Negative blocks are the same. They're just used in levels with rules, but you can also use them as normal blocks like that. Same numbers. Vanish point blocks, the points don't matter unless you're playing rules, but they are just like vanish blocks, and when they vanish, the points show up. Vanish negative blocks, same thing. Negative 10, so each time these blow up, you lose 10. Okay, change blocks. They're only used for levels with rules, so you have to add an element of timing. The way they work is they go 1, 5, 10, 25, and they're at each number for an equal amount of time, and then they restart. Okay, change block color. Same kind of thing as the point blocks. They go through 4 colors in the same order. And what's cool about these is you can do, if you paint them the right way, you can create like a snake pattern. Or a snake where, see all the colors, they all go through the thing like a cycle. And you can do that with the point blocks too. You just can't see it that good. Change block pop. They change back and forth between wooden and vanish. And these are a little bit different. Instead of going back and forth, vanish, wood, the pattern is vanish, wood, 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 vanish, wood, wood. So there's 7 different phases. You can even when it's wood, if you look close, you can see it changing a little bit. So there's between each vanish block, there are either 3 or 2 wooden blocks. And chemical blocks, change block chemical, they are chemical, wood, wood. So between one of the wood parts, it should switch. Yeah, you can see it switch between 2 different types of wood. So you can see that. This is just like the point blocks where there's 4 different paints that it cycles through, and the different types of blocks. That's this one. And change block point bomb. Just that. It goes bomb, 5 bomb, 1, 1, 1, bomb, 5 bomb. So with all these different paints, you can create that snake kind of pattern that I showed you with the colors. You can do that with all of these. And this one just alternates points, but most of all, from far, it looks like it's just going on and off. So you can create stuff with those. Here, let me show you an example. So here I created like a little arrow sign, flashes. So you can make different patterns, do different stuff. So I guess that's it. Oh wait, one more thing. There is a transparent type of immobile block that is not in the paints menu. I stole it from someone's level online. Here it is. This is immobile, but it's also transparent. So for different levels, it has a different color. For this theme, it has a brownish tint, but in some levels it's just white, and you can see through it. So that's pretty cool. if you want to find it, go on Wi-Fi and download my level called Magic. Just search for Magic and you should find it, and I use these in that level. So what you would do is you'd save that level and save one of these as a custom set in edit mode. I'll talk more about that later also. Anyways, thanks for watching, and part 4 I'll talk about characters.